Okay, the next topic is what is the credit system like in the United States? Okay, so like I said, I just created a video where I talked about general ed versus core versus elective classes, and in that video, you probably noticed me saying, if you have not watched it, please watch it. It's gonna be, you can find it on my channel, or I'll probably try to link it somewhere here. But when you are signed up for a program, like say if you are signed up for a nursing program, you are required, the program will have predetermined how many credits is required for you to graduate out of that program, right? Finish up the program. Anywhere from 120 to 100, say 30 credits, a little bit more in some cases. I think I ended up with 133 credits. So for that matter, like let's just say 120 credit is what is needed for your program, but what really is 120 credits, right? So let's break it down. So if you are taking, say if you're in a nursing major, but you end up having to take psychology 100, okay? So that psychology 100 is, say, a 3 credit class, okay, which most classes will end up being a 3 credit class. There are going to be classes that are more than that. I've taken classes that were 5 credit worth. So a 3 credit class is essentially, by definition, a 3 credit class is a class that meets 3 hours in a given week, in a given week. Okay, so a 3 credit class is a class that meets 3 hours in a given week. Okay, but 3 hours can be some random breakdown. Like for example, it could be that the class meets 1 hour each on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, right? It could also be 1.5 hour each on Tuesdays and Thursdays, right? So there can be multiple ways that this can be broken down, but at the end of the day, a 3 credit class is essentially the class will meet 3 hours for a given week. Okay? Um, so hopefully that makes sense. So now take that into like a 5 credit class. That just means that that class meets 5 hours in a given week. It could be 2 hour classes, you know, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 2.5 hour classes. Even though I say 2.5 hour, or even though I say 1 hour each, it really is not 1 hour each. I think it's like 50 minutes or 45 minutes a piece. So it does not add up to truly 3 hours. Um, and then on top of that, this is the number of hours the class meets, not what you spend studying. Okay, so this is very different. Like, so you could spend, if the class is too hard for you, you could spend a lot of hours studying. That is not factored in. This is truly when the teacher, the professor, gets into the class, or now you know does remote classes, and that is an option. And the other thing that I want to highlight is, normally when you see classes on your, wherever you go to register for your classes, you might see MWF. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Tuesdays and Thursdays could be T and TH. I recently saw something that, when I was trying to help someone, I recently saw something that said R, and I just assumed that means it's a remote class. So it said Tuesday, Thursday, and R, and then I just assumed this was Tuesday, Thursday, and one, of the 3 hours, of the 3 hours. Oh, what happened here? Of the 3 hours that the class meets, one of the one of the classes happens to be just remote, which many schools or colleges are now doing that anyways. So I'm not surprised. Okay. So here's the thing about credit. And so add a lot of these classes, each worth 3 credit, for math, for like say college algebra, right? Or we'll just say math, 3 hours for bio, and then 3 hours for A&P, anatomy and physiology, 3 hours. Keep adding these, and at some point you will hit 120 credits that is required for you to graduate out of that program. So that's how you get to 120. Okay. While we're on this topic, it's worth knowing that sometimes universities will allow you to transfer credit, and I've seen that happen. So if you have, for example, in my personal case, I was supposed to take college algebra, right, which is a 3-hour class. Now, each of these classes, the classes you take cost you money. So you want to make sure that you graduate the fastest, taking as less credit as possible, considering your program or advisor allows you to do so, and they have to approve. Just give me 1 second here. I don't know what happened. So you want to make sure that you use your time in the university wisely, right? And for that, what I say is, if you went to a good university wherever your school is, if you went to a good university back home, where you might be from, or if you went to a high school, or you took some classes that are college level classes, please try to take that advantage of those to see if you can get credit without taking the class for the entire semester. And I'll give you an example. So college algebra, right? So I was told that I should be taking college algebra, but when I went and talked to my advisor, sent me over to the math department. The professor at math department, I think it was the dean of math department, then said, okay, well, I'm going to give you a set of questions. If you solve them, then you may not need to take the whole semester worth of classes. And then he did end up giving me some questions. I did happen to get them correct. And then at that point, it was determined that I did not have to take college algebra. But I did end up taking a couple other math classes, but I did not have to take algebra. And another friend of mine actually ended up being able to transfer a lot more credit from because he had already done university level classes in a university back home. When he transferred over for a bachelor's degree, he already had, back at home, we call it ISC, which is intermediate in science. I think it's intermediate in science. So when you have done that 3-year program in science, like, he could transfer or port over a lot of his credit, and the university just has to recognize that those are classes that you've taken, and the curriculum back home matches the curriculum here. If that is the case, they may just deem that the classes that you have taken is worth giving you a waiver on, and in that case you end up saving money. Like, say if you were able to get 15 credit transferred, 15 credit is 1 semester, like really it's 1 semester worth of duration in the university that you saved, and that equates to money, right? So you saved a semester of fees again, what is important is when you get to the university, go ask, keep on asking your advisor, or keep on asking whoever might have the information, whoever is your senior, like, someone that has been in the university a little longer than you have, or someone from your country that has been in the university a little longer. Do not be afraid to check with them, because you might just end up saving tons of money by simply being able to port over your credit from the university. Okay. What I have also seen people do, I don't think I need that. So what I have also seen people do is, you come to a university, take a few classes in the university, and then go over to community college, because community colleges are are a little cheaper for the most part, and you can get your some of your, remember what I was talking about, like on the other video I talk about general ed versus core versus electives. Some of those general ed classes you don't have to take it in the university, where it's a lot more expensive to get that education. So you can go to a community college, get some of those out of your way, and then transfer the credits over to a university, and then just pursue your degree. And I've seen that happen as well. I had a good friend from Kenya who actually graduated from a nursing program. This is 20 years back again, like, or at least 16 years back. But he ended up going to a community college, doing a lot of his general ed and electives from that college. And then when he was done from the community college, and when he was done there, and when he had like 40 or 60 whatever credits left that were core for his program, for the nursing program, then he transferred over to the university, and he saved a lot of money by just going to community college. Just a couple more things. Even though I advise, even though I've talked a little bit about going to community college to save some money, note that you have to be super careful that you don't transfer from a university to a community college, and then community college back to the university, where there are certain details that you need to think about. If you were to truly think about going to community college, just learn beforehand, before you even transfer, that community college has a good working program with that university that you intend to go to. Often, if a local community college will have good connection with the university, where their program is already catered to feed into the university. That's how they work. So if you go to a community college and get a set number of credit, make sure that those credits can all be transferred over to a university, because you don't want to end up taking a bunch more credit in a community college that does not end up being transferred over to the university, and then you would have lost your time and money in the community college, and then when you go to the university, that's no use. So you again have to take the classes there. You don't want that to happen. The other thing, even though I talk about transferring from one university to the community college and then back, all that is, in my case, I ended up going to one college, finishing up there, right? It was a tiny college, a small university in the middle of nowhere. Sometimes it has its own perks being in a small town, because then you can remain really focused. This whole thing with going from one school to the next and then coming back, sometimes that is a little bit more distracting than what it truly needs to be. So if you can manage somehow financially, and with everything that, like your time and resources, then I would suggest just go to the university, stick with that university. You might end up just graduating much faster than if you were to transfer to a community college and then switch back. Because I've seen a lot of times you go to a community college to save money, but then at the end of the day, saving money is not as easy. So you end up not saving, and then trying to get back to a university is a challenge. So you end up working or going to the community college a lot longer to make sure that you save enough money to come back to university. Again, these things may not make sense if you're watching it abroad and getting ready to travel, but once you travel and you understand a little bit about how things work in the United States or abroad, it will really help you understand a lot better. If you have any questions, please comment below. I know I'm not able to respond in a short video all the questions that you may have brewing in your mind, but if you do have questions, please comment below, and I'm happy to respond to your question, or someone else that knows better will respond to your question. And if you like the sort of video that is being produced here, please let me know by commenting below, or giving me a thumbs up, or sharing the video, and hit that bell button, please. Subscribe and hit that bell button, please, because I want you to be notified when I post videos like this. So I know you guys are taking a leap of faith here by trying to go to a new country, and good luck to you. I've been there, done that. So I wish you all the best. But In the meantime, please take care of yourself, please stay healthy and safe, and we will see you in the next video.